Good morning, Abraham. Your cat story just brought up something for me. Years ago, I had a cat that died of an infection, and I think I cried for a week when he died. These are just, I don't know, some of the things I've heard you say that kind of stick in my mind that I don't quite get. One was that you said that the Earth has been populated more than it is today. And I was wondering, was that with humans, or did you mean like with dinosaurs or something?
Your planet is much, 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 much older than any of your geological discoveries have indicated. And you have far exceeded the population that is here now on many occasions. That your population is always in flux.
Was that a human population?
Yes, yes.
Really? Yeah. So, has it been
you are pumping each other into your gas tanks even as we speak.
So it goes back, It's tough being on stage with a comedian.
Every good one needs a straight man, however.
I'm always available. And you also said that there have been more technologically advanced societies. Is there any evidence of that, or have they just been so swallowed up into the oil that...
The evidence of it, very good statement. We'll do the funny ones. The evidence of it is vibrational. In other words, it is each generation that comes forth. Now, this is interesting because this is where we want to clarify something, because we continue to talk about how you are the leading edge, and how as you are non-physical energy, and then a part of you comes forth and explores this time-space reality, and from it you give birth to a desire, and then that desire is held in your vibrational escrow, and when you come into alignment with it, then you are able to live it in full manifested form. So when we say that there have been more technologically advanced societies than now, scientists freak out at that. They don't want to hear it at all because they can't find the evidence of it. And incidentally, the thing that holds them back most of all is not only they're needing to find physical evidence of things, but they're needing everybody or many people to agree with the physical evidence that they've found before they will allow themselves to vibrate there, which slows them down very much. But what we're getting at here is, it seems like a contradiction, but it is not, that as your leading edge society asks for more and then comes into alignment, that each society then would be the most leading edge. And we want to explain emphatically that that is always true, but we are not in agreement that the high technology is what makes you the leading edge.
Right.
Because there were civilizations that were doing things with energy that you have not brought yourself back around to, nor need you do. They were deciphering vibrations of sound and light and extracting the power from them in ways that, by comparison, makes this society look like the Dark Ages. And many of you, even on this exploration, aren't you impressed with what they were doing? With mathematics and equations that you did not assume were as much in evidence as they were, and there's far, 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 far more than that, but not necessary for you to tap into it. We are continually reminding you that your quest is joy, and when you come into the vibrational alignment with that, anything that is important to you will occur to you. Do you know what slows civilization down more than all other things put together? You've been hearing us talking about this vibrational escrow, and if you could witness it energetically as the mass consciousness vibrational escrow, you would never again worry about the longevity of what's going on here. In other words, for this swirling energy and law of attraction's response to it to be what it is, your civilizations and your eternalness are assured. But what we want you to focus upon just for a moment, in light of this basis that you are giving us here, is that as all of this is occurring, even as we visit with our deliberate creative, understanding the law of attraction, knowing about deliberate creation friends in an arena like this, still, it's a rare one of you that accepts that this vibrational escrow vortex exists, and you're still trying to figure out what to do to make the things happen, instead of understanding that they have already happened vibrationally, and your following your bliss will lead you to the culmination or the manifestation, the actualization of them. In other words, the contrast is step one. This is the conversation that we were chewing on with Jerry and Esther yesterday. The contrast is the step one that puts the stuff over there, but then it's done. It's done, it's done, it's done. And your intense scrutiny of how what's done relates to what's manifested holds you in the not letting it manifest category, so that you hold yourself apart from the evolution, from the expansion, and from the materialization of so many things that could come so much faster. So we will not say that there were societies that are more enlightened, because the more enlightened is always on the leading edge. There have been societies that were more allowing of what their escrow were providing, but it's always that way as you become historians, and it's not easy to do because your history is continually rewritten by the painters of the pictures or the writers of the books. None of you have accurate access to anything that has happened before, but vibrationally you do, because the source within you stands as the culmination of all that has been lived. And as you let your dominant, maybe even only singular quest be to come into alignment with that, then, as our first friend said here today, then you get to explore your focused position through those complete eyes, and then the true meaning of life begins to show itself to you in new and powerful ways.
One more thing sort of relating to time. You've talked about, when you plant a seed in the ground, you just know that it's going to take a certain amount of time for it to sprout and grow. And the other day, I hurt my shoulder, I guess, from lifting my backpack or something with a physical reason. But I was thinking, is the time that takes to heal, is that just my perception? I mean, could I just wake up and it be all healed?
Yes.
Or is it just, you kind of expect, well, it's probably going to feel better in a week. But it's really up to me.
Well, everything happens in, these are very good questions, because so what we are talking about here then the expectation of the seed? Or is what we are talking about that the seed is part of that vibrational vortex now, and all things that are necessary for the culmination of it are coming together? In other words, do you think the seed is consciously in there setting its goals every day and making its statements of affirmation? And even if it were you say, well, it's not a consciousness that has vocabulary, and we are saying it is consciousness. In other words, we're not wanting to hurt your feelings, but the non-physical energy that is being received by this seed is not different from the non-physical energy that is being received by you. And so it is from that perspective. It is that let us start at the outside of this question. Your shoulder will come into alignment in the precise amount of time that it takes for you to release the resistance and allow it to be. And that would be the accurate statement about the seed's germination and coming into being. In other words, when the alignment has taken place, then the result always occurs.
So if one seed managed, if it normally takes 2 weeks for the seed, but one seed manages to do it sooner, then another seed might believe that it's possible.
It would be easier for you to make sense of this, will be kind, weird analogy. It is very good. If you could recognize your body, in other words, one seed coming to fruition would be a little inconsequential in the field. In other words, do you think the farmer will go out every day and look for the seed that is germinated and deal with it?
Yeah.
Or is it better if there is a sort of cooperation and they all come to fruition it is the intent, the broader intent that is being satisfied. And so the seeds are coming forth in the analogy that you've offered in accordance with that broader intent. It would be a better analogy for you and easier for you to understand it if you would understand that in the area of your discomfort, you have trillions of cells throughout your body that are all cooperatively coming into alignment, and each of them individually knowing what to do, and them coming into alignment. As we said the other day, the cells of your body are coming into alignment. It is the thinking mechanism or the captain of the ship that is usually the only odd one out. And so the expectation that you have about it does hinder and disallow the well-being from coming into place as quickly as it could. Really, what all of this is bringing us around to say, and we think that it is the basic theme of this leading-edge conversation that we're having in these days that we are together, you all, in your deliberate creative attempts and in your trying to justify your existence, are being too hands-on in the trying to bring things into place for you. If you could, and so everything that we're talking about, redundant as it is and will continue to be until you get it, and even beyond, because we like this story so much, is that life causes you to do the asking, and source lines up through the laws of the universe, the answering, and it is done, it is done, it is done, it is done, but you don't get to reap the benefit of it being done until you come into alignment with it. And so in every bit of those stories that you told is the expectation that controls when it comes to be. And that's what we were talking about early civilizations. There were earlier civilizations that with the power of their mind could produce crops faster through the power of thought. Could produce healing faster through the power of thought. In other words, alignment is alignment. Great.
Abraham, would not...
There's enough trouble on this stage already.
I'll be really good this time. Relative to her analogy, is it something like it's our body's nature to be well?
Yes.
It's our body's nature to develop and evolve and enjoy itself and carry our mind on to joyous experiences, whatever we decide to have.
Certainly.
And so if we throw a big backpack against it, that of course would deter its natural, normal direction that it would continue to try to find, unless we keep throwing backpacks against it or something. Now, I just want to jump to the seed thing. So the same thing with the seed. Is the seed not evolving and reaching out for its joyous, for its expansion, for its development, for whatever it's intending to be? And if we put a rock over it so it can't get any sunlight or water, it still doesn't stop its intent. We've just stopped it temporarily. But its still intention is still to fulfill itself and expand. And
That is
it's as natural as our body's as natural as the seed. They're all intending to express, and if we get in the way of it, that's just a temporary restriction.
Well stated, and let's take it further. Every seed that you know on your planet could grow in every region of your planet if it were not for the expectation of man that prevents it. Because the seed has the ability to adapt and would.
Just as we do.
Just as you do.
Thank you.
Good.
There's just one more thing that you said that bugs me. Everything else is great. You said there are no new thoughts. But you always talk about us being on the leading edge. But
well, what we mean by that is that every thought that is thought starts from a basis of thought, which means, in other words, you can't begin at the beginning because so much has gone before. So everything that you are from the basis from which you think is part of the new thought that you are now thinking. For if it were not for that basis, that thought could not be. Which is why eternalness is so delicious.
it is.
Get out.
Thank you very much.
We enjoyed this immensely. Yes, indeed.